Hey everybody. So Geoff Keeley's Game Awards nominations were just announced today, November 14th. The show itself is going to be on December 8th from 6:30 to 9:30 Central Time, available on most major streaming sites like YouTube and Twitch. And while awards shows are generally about giving out awards, this one's mostly known for showing premieres of new games and other footage and whatnot that haven't been announced yet. A lot of times they're often rumored titles and whatnot. Sometimes they just give out awards super quick and keep the focus on the premieres and performances and whatnot. But I personally, I feel like they should just go back to focusing on the awards and celebrate the games that were released for the last year. Of course, this show, as it is currently in its format, is much better than what it was when it was the Spike TV's award show, and that was back in 2003 through 2013. Keeley originally had produced that show, but he continued to produce the Game Awards itself after Spike TV finally dropped it after the 2013 show. So 2014, Keeley was on his own, and now it's become an annual staple for many in the gaming industry. As you guys know, I'm a big Nintendo fan, and these shows have been kind of disappointing for being a Nintendo fan the last couple series or shows. I know last year they just showed a commercial. I think the year before that it was 2 commercials. But sometimes there's really good surprises. Like I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago when they revealed Sephiroth for the Smash reveal, and that was really awesome, just everything with that. And then I want to say it was 2015 or 2016. No, it was it's like 2016, and they showed more Breath of the Wild stuff. 2017, it was given the Game of the Year award, and rightly so. So it's kind of a mixed bag regarding Nintendo's involvement. I feel like the Game Awards itself is more about like Western development studios. Every year there also seems to be some way for Geoff Keeley to show off that he's friends with Hideo Kojima, because, I guess we'll see something from Kojima's newest project, like from Overdose or the rumored Death Stranding 2. And Keeley also likes to emphasize how important media is, such as TV shows, the music industry, the movie industry, and their respective celebrities are, and how they're important to video games. But the reality is that video games generate more money on its own versus the combined amount made in the movie, music, and TV industry. So I feel it's the TV, music, and movie industry that should be reaching out to video games and not the other way around. Regardless, this show is usually a lot of fun. I look at E3 as the Super Bowl for video games and video game announcements. So Keeley's Game Awards is like WrestleMania. It's all probably fixed, but everyone is out there to put on a good show, and cheesy or not. So sit back and enjoy the craziness. So I'm going to take my time here, not only to share my opinion on the show as you just heard, but also to kind of give my predictions, and as well as watch me cast my live vote here. So we're going to start off with the category, and it's funny how they have this categorized. Is that I think the way that they show the awards, this is like the Oscars Best Picture. This is the Game of the Year, pretty much the equivalent, except of course the movie industry doesn't make near what the video game industry does, so therefore this one's more important. Bias speaking. What's really cool with the Oscars that I liked was that oftentimes it would feature movies that maybe I would have never heard of and might be interesting for me to see. That's not really the case this year, and really most years. It tends to be where Game of the Year is often usually a high quality, high budget title that sells well. And I'm looking at the titles here, and God of War, Elden Ring are 2 high-budget, high-selling titles. And to that end, I would probably put my vote, my prediction that Elden Ring is probably going to win the Game of the Year. It's real close with God of War. Elden Ring's got the open world / Dark Souls gameplay. God of War with an awesome story and story driven and combat driven vehicle. The Plague Tale Requiem, my wife has played this Plague Tale, the first game, as well as the Horizon Forbidden West. She played that as well. Watching her on both of these, they're excellent games. It's kind of a shame that they both released on such a high year with Elden Ring and God of War. My wife also played Stray. I did Elden Ring and Xenoblade 3. I'm going to pick Xenoblade 3 because I'm going to go against the grain. It was an awesome RPG and cinematic experience, especially for the Switch. My second choice, if I got to vote, I'd probably vote for Stray. This Elden Ring it couldn't capture me or my interest, but that's me. Elden Ring, I do know itself is a fantastic game with a lot of great lore and awesome combat. So again, my prediction is Elden Ring's going to win, but I'm going to vote for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And the next category is Best Game Direction. So again, you think like the Oscars, it's like the Best Director, and this is essentially, so it says award for outstanding creative vision, innovative in game direction and design. So I'm going to vote for Stray. Why? Why am I voting for Stray? Just the overall world that it built, and especially concerning your character as a nameless cat, and how said cat exploring this post-apocalyptic world where there's literally no humans, and yet the experience itself is guided and gives the player an idea as to where to go based on kind of subliminal and not so liminal views and everything on where to go. It really helps to show like the player where they need to be and where they need to go. That's my personal thing, but I feel like Elden Ring's probably going to win this one as well. Why I wouldn't vote for Elden Ring is because you get past that first kind of beginning tutorial area, and unlike a game like Skyrim where it tells you, okay, here's a hint where you can go next, I felt like there was nothing like that. And I remember I had to look online to find, I think it was Melania, what was her name or something, so that I could use my runes to level my character up so that anytime I die, and I died often, I would be able to use those and spend those runes on the stat upgrade. So I felt like, it wasn't as intuitive as that. I would like to think that maybe God of War should have that better than Elden Ring, but I feel like it's going to be probably going to be a near sweep between these two. And who knows, maybe there's going to be a surprise with Horizon Forbidden West nabbing a couple. And that next one, the best narrative, best story-driven thing. I'm going to vote for God of War, and I think God of War is going to win this because, again, Elden Ring has a phenomenal lore, phenomenal story in it, but you really got to dig for it. You really got to read kind of between the lines to get a lot of that. Plague Tale's world is really interesting insofar as with the main protagonist and her little brother with the powers and everything like that. It's really, really interesting and really cool story too. But I feel like God of War has got a beat in regards to the story, especially what it had been telling since the previous game. So I feel like that's got, and that's tough too, because I like the Horizon Forbidden West had more story, I felt like, in this second one versus the first one, if that makes any sense. But again, that was another excellent game. Whew, really tough year. So the next one, next category, best art direction. So we got outstanding creative and or technical achievement. I'm voting for Stray because I want that to get some votes. It's not going to win probably a lot of this. I'll guess later it'll probably win Indie of the Year, although that has some competition. I feel like Scorn has some really fantastic art in it. I don't know if this is kind of one of those, not a sleeper, because I've heard it's got kind of a polarizing kind of gameplay style, but the art in it is really fantastic. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a surprise, like a I guess like a surprise here, and Scorn would win it. That's going to be my prediction, but I'm voting for Stray because, again, this is me voting. I'm going to vote what I want. Next one is Best Score and Music. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has got that. This is tough, though, because Metal Hellsinger, I've heard, has got some fantastic music in it. God of War has some good, both melodic and ambient tunes in it, at least the first one did. I do not like Elden Ring's soundtrack because I feel like it's just ambient and it kind of sounds the same everywhere where you're going. Didn't really feel like there was a good sound on that. I'm gonna predict that I would probably say, honestly, Elden Ring might win this, or even Metal Hellsinger. I'll say Metal Hellsinger because I don't want Elden Ring to sweep. That's going to be wishful thinking. But again, I'm voting for Xenoblade. That has an awesome soundtrack. A lot of the music, fantastic, like the battle theme, the chain theme that plays, and you get used to that theme because you hear it so often, but thankfully it's actually kind of a banger. The next category is Best Audio Design, Game Audio and Sound. So you get some really good, meaty sound effects, especially for a game like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. These military shooters, people call them a guilty pleasure, but they sell millions upon millions. It's like, just own that you like something. It's okay. Like, I could own that I like Stray. I haven't played it, but I enjoyed watching my wife play it. It's okay to say that you like something. But anyway, tangent off. There is some really good audio design with that. I don't want to sell Elden Ring short here because that does have some really good audio overall, both the voice acting and everything like that. I'm going to put this in for, I'm going to vote for Gran Turismo 7 because, again, fantastic audio matching all the cars and everything. If I remember right, they did their best to make the engine sounds match to what how they actually are in real life. Again, let me know in the comment section below if I'm totally off base on that. I apologize if I am. Definitely feel free to correct me on anything. I'm always willing to learn, always willing to admit when I'm wrong, and sometimes that's often. My vote on this for audio design is going to be, again, Gran Turismo 7, but I'm going to predict God of War probably is going to take it, just with the whole voice acting talent and everything. Although, is it Ashley Birch, the main actress that plays Aloy in Horizon? That's tough too. But I know that there's a specific best performance category, but there's a lot of really good voice acting there. I'm predicting God of War. My vote for Gran Turismo 7. Best perform. Oh yeah, here we go. Horizon Forbidden West, Ashley Birch. Let's see, Plague Tale, Requiem, really just the main actors and actresses, with the exception of 2 God of War characters here. I feel like this would be something where I'm going to vote, and I think God of War. Okay, I'm voting for God of War Ragnarok, Christopher Judge, because sometimes less is more, and what Judge has done with the voice here has been phenomenal. But I could see, I predict that Ashley Birch will win this. My only issue, Ashley Birch is a fantastic actor, but I feel like she gives the same voice performance, whether it's Last of Us 2 or Life is Strange or Life is Strange Before the Storm or Horizon Forbidden West or Horizon, the first game. I feel like it's the same voice. It's just her voice given the same performance. So again, it's fantastic, but there's no versatility, and I feel like Judge here does a really good job of doing that. I'm sorry. I kind of wish I did more research on Immortality. I don't know that one as well enough, so Let me know in the comments section if you played this. Immortality, maybe I'm off base with Man Engage. Getting that or not. Next category, we have games for impact. And I'm not familiar with any of these. I'm going to abstain my vote. I am not going to vote here because I'm not going to vote for something that I don't really know. But we've got, I can't even begin to predict on this. So there's nothing wrong with these games. I haven't heard of them. That's probably because I'm kind of stuck in the video game mainstream. So I'm going to abstain. I'm not going to put in a vote. I wouldn't know who to predict on this. Next one is best ongoing game. So this is a cool game a cool category. I feel like I think Final Fantasy. I'm going to vote for Final Fantasy 14, and I feel like I'm going to predict Final Fantasy 14 on this. Destiny. Bungie does a good job of continuing updates for Destiny 2. If I remember it hasn't been as much. My buddies got me into Fork Knife, and the shop updates from what they've been saying haven't been as good, and the story. I don't really play for the story. I just play to play with my buddies, and it's fine. The map changes every so often. Some fun updates and kind of a big cash grab. Apex Legends. I'm not really as familiar with that. Again, nothing wrong with that. If I'm not as familiar with something, doesn't mean that it's a bad game. And then Genshin Impact. I'm not a waifu addict. I don't have any desire to get into any of the anime waifus or anything like that. But again, if you're a Genshin Impact fan, that's you do you. That's all I'm going to say. You do you. But again, Final Fantasy 14, I played this. Is that Stormblood was the newest one? I have heard the newest expansion on 14 is excellent. It is phenomenal. I played the first base game and the first expansion. I thought it was phenomenal. I just don't like playing raids and stuff with people, so that's why I stopped playing 14. But again, that's where I'm at. For the next category of best indie. So I'm going to vote. I'm voting for Stray, and I'm predicting Stray. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was not really an upset, but Neon White could take this because that's been getting a lot of positive buzz. It was one of those games when it was announced, people were kind of like, well, what is this? But it's rated really well on Metacritic. Kind of the same thing with Cult of the Lamb. It's another one that's kind of flown under the radar. But Tunic essentially is a kind of like a Zelda, and people like to say Dark Souls because it's difficult. I'll call it a Zelda NES second quest type game because it's so hard, difficult. And the Sifu is really, the concept's really cool, where you go through the game once. If you lose all your health, you come back and try again after your character ages so many years. Honestly, I think this is probably the toughest category this year. Again, I am voting for Stray, and I'm going to predict Stray, but I feel like there's a good chance Neon White or even Tunic could take it. I want physical copies of all of these, especially Tunic. Only because my wife and I already have Stray, because she loves kitties. Moving on to the next category, we have Best Mobile Game. I am not going to vote on this. I'm going to abstain because I don't mobile game. It's not fair for me to do so, and if I would predict, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Genshin Impact. Again, don't doubt the power of waifus, but I'm abstaining. I'm not going to vote. Moving to the next thing, Best Community Support. I'm going to pick Final Fantasy 14, both for my vote and for the win. But again, these are all pretty much the same as the best ongoing mobile game, except they swapped out Genshin Impact for No Man's Sky. I guess those waifus can't be all that helpful. But again, how helpful is customer service? I guess. Outstanding community support, transparency, responsiveness. I feel like 14's got some great updates, and that expansion pack's been fantastic. Again, well, I wouldn't be surprised if Fork Knife would surprise here. Next category is innovation in accessibility. So this is really cool, where we, as gamers, I'm a big fan of inclusion insofar as taking down the gates. I really dislike gatekeeping in video gaming and just gaming in general, and that includes individuals who just don't have the ability to game, as somebody who is able-bodied and versus somebody who's disabled. So having more accessibility options is definitely a great thing. The only thing here is I'm gonna have to abstain from voting because I don't know what options each of these have. I really don't. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was I wouldn't be surprised if Last of Us Part 1 gets it, because I heard that had a lot of options to allow players to enjoy these games. And it even includes having innovation and accessibility. That I've even heard of games in the past where there are like spiders, and it changes the spiders into squares because of people's individual fears of and phobias of spiders. So that's more on like the mental aspect of it, but it's still very valid. So again, I'm going to abstain, but I would probably predict Last of Us Part 1. The next one is Best VR and AR. I'm going to have to abstain here because I haven't played any of these in VR or AR. I could see Among Us VR maybe winning. I don't know. I can't imagine that's very in depth. Yeah, I can't. I'm going to predict Moss Book 2 will get it because I've heard of the first Moss game, but yeah, that's kind of a crapshoot for me. Best action game. So I'm going to put my vote in for TMNT Shredder's Revenge because, again, these are 5 excellent games. Excellent. But I want TMNT to get some cred here. But I wouldn't be wouldn't be surprised if Neon White takes this one. It'd be cool if Sifu did, or maybe even Bayonetta 3. But I don't know if all the voice acting controversy is going to end up causing a whole bunch of snubs here. But so again, my vote for TMNT. My prediction, I'm going to say Neon White. Best action adventure. Okay, this is pretty cool. Again, I put my vote in for Stray because I want to give that as many votes as we can. Action adventure, I'm going to give this to God of War Ragnarok as the prediction. But again, you've got some awesome games here. And see what I mean about strong indie titles? 2 of these 5 are 2 indies. And it's really amazing because I believe that this was the first game that the Blue 12 studio had ever made, is Stray. And while it was really short, it looked beautiful, played great, and really gave a good idea where the world could go for a future or potential game. So again, I'm predicting God of War, voting for Stray. Next thing, role-playing. Oh my, come on. Oh no, see, this is another tough one. We have 4 of the 5 games are Nintendo games. Of course, Triangle Strategy is available, I believe, on other platforms as well. But this is cool because you have 2 of the 5 are HD 2Ds from Square Enix, and I love that. I love that we're getting more of these HD 2D games, and maybe this will give more attention to some fantastic titles. As much as I'm loath to admit it, I'm predicting Elden Ring will win it, but I'm going to put my vote for Xenoblade 3. Again, the reason I'm predicting Elden Ring is I feel like it's going to make a run. And again, nothing wrong with Elden Ring. It's a fantastic game with a great fleshed out world. It's just you can compare the 20 million sales versus the 1.7 million for Xenoblade. Yeah, maybe Xenoblade needs it more, but I mean, ultimately these are popularity contests, and these editions that maybe they help. The next category, best fighting game. So I'm going to put in, I feel like Multiverses is going to get the most popular vote. A lot of these are excellent games in of themselves. To be honest, I'm not as familiar with these 3, which is sad because I actually thought that King of Fighters 15, I thought that wasn't as good as it had been in the past, but maybe I'm wrong. Again, let me know in the comments section. But I'm going to predict Multiverses is going to win it. I'm going to put my vote for Sifu because I feel like, excuse me, that deserves some positive press here. Next category, Best Family. This is easy. I'm voting for Kirby and the Forgotten Land. 5 million copies this year sold. I think it's like one of the best Kirby games ever for sales. For one of the first 3D Kirby games, it played phenomenally. It was a ton of fun. Obviously these are all Nintendo games, although this one I think Lego Star Wars is multi-platform. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm going to predict Nintendo Switch Sports is going to win it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga surprises. You know what? I'm going to change that. I'm going to predict Lego Star Wars wins it, although Nintendo Switch Sports would be a close second because this game got a lot of buzz earlier in the year when it released. It's like this was a quality Lego Star Wars game where it really fleshed out the universe so well in Lego form. Moving on to the next category, we have Best Sim and Strategy, and we've got I'm really only aware, I know of like 2 or 3 of these titles. I'm going to vote for Mario plus Rabbids. I don't know if there was enough time for it to really leave an impression with the actual like votees, which I believe the award winners are calculated both by idiots like me putting in their votes, but also they take critic votes where both from magazines and online individuals, online magazines where individuals know these games and whatnot, but I also think they pull from like Newsweek and stuff like that, and a lot of YouTube content creators such as myself often question those individuals because maybe they don't know the industry or the games as well. But I mean, a gamer's a gamer if they know the game or all the games. Fortunately, I'm not part of that. I'm just an idiot with a mouse on a little small YouTube channel, so that's why I'm going to pick this one here. Moving on to the next category, Best Sports and Racing. I can't remember. The first Ali Ali game was fantastic. I'm picking Gran Turismo. I think out of these, though, this is probably the best out of them all. I mean, One and NBA 2K, they're pretty much boilerplate. It's going to be the same game year over year, but they sell so well, especially FIFA and internationally. Or if you're in the U.S. and you know of somebody who has just emigrated into the country and had liked video games before, they'll say FIFA. So, but again, I'm voting for Gran Turismo. I'm going to predict Gran Turismo as well. So best multiplayer, I'm putting my vote in for TMNT. Again, I want that to get some good credit. I think Multiverses is actually going to, my prediction is going to be Multiverses, because this is one of those kind of unsaid sort of, but then again, there's Splatoon 3. That did sell like 7 or 8 million copies so quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if Splatoon took it, but I'm going to predict Multiverses. I've heard Overwatch 2 is kind of a dumpster fire insofar as there's a lot of people that were really mad that the first Overwatch totally shut down once Overwatch 2 released. And of course, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, people won't vote for that because they're afraid that their guilty pleasure will get too much light, but they're good games and they sell. The next category here, we've got Content Creator of the Year. I'm putting my vote in for Nabillion because I think they had to just shut down recently, which really sucks. So I feel bad for them, and I think that's also going to get the sympathy vote. So that's going to be my prediction as well. I'm hoping I'm remembering that correctly. Next one is, and kind of going back on here, it's like where's the Spawn Wave, and where's the Scott the Woz, and where is so some of the other favorites that are on here, you know, even like Game Historian and NES Works. There's so many fantastic YouTube content creators. Retro Bird is another one. OJ Player Essence, Dreamcast Guy. I mean, the great thing about you being here on YouTube is you'll never want for content, and just this is such a small segment of the fantastic individuals that are on here. Okay, moving on though. I hear me BS about my fellow YouTube content creators, even though they're levels above where I'm at. Next one is best debut indie. That's going to be Stray. I'm putting my vote in on that. But again, I'm gonna predict that Stray's going to win it. And I'm also going to vote for that too. Some really good choices here, especially with seeing Neon White and Tunic. Wouldn't be surprised if Neon White surprises. Let's see here. Best adaptation. So I'm going to vote for Sonic. Recognized outstanding creative work, faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another medium. I'm voting for Sonic 2 because I liked it. I saw Uncharted, the movie. It wasn't as great. I didn't feel like that was really that close to the games. You can't just pull a couple of scenes and turn them into movie scenes from like the said games, and even like put the voice of it. Was it Nolan North? Into the thing is all these Easter eggs. It's fun, but it's not like how it is. So just kind of disappointed with that. I'm going to predict though that Cyberpunk Edge Runners is going to win it. Though I wouldn't be surprised Arcane pulls that out. But yeah, I'm going to predict Cyberpunk wins that. Let's see here. Most anticipated game. This is easy. The Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, because this has been announced for some time. It's now been longer between where we're at now and Breath of the Wild came out versus Breath of the Wild and when Skyward Sword came out. It's kind of crazy to think. I think I mentioned that before. And I think because of that, it's been so hype. Anytime Nintendo even trickles a little bit of information, it sets social media like ablaze. So I feel like that's going to... that definitely is the most anticipated. Resident Evil 4, the remake's gonna be great, especially if it takes what made the first one very good, and just really goes into more of the horror versus the action element of that. And Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy is my favorite video game series of all time. But I don't think I personally am not excited for it because it just looks like Devil May Cry Final Fantasy, and I'm not into that kind of like gameplay for my Final Fantasy. That's just me. Moving on to the next category. So now we're gonna get to like esports and stuff like that, and I'm not going to vote, and I'm not going to even predict because the next few categories are all about esports. And I don't care about this. I'm sure these individuals are great at what they do and everything, but it makes no impact on me and my gaming. And I feel like this is kind of how I mentioned that Geoff Keeley likes to extend out the olive branch to so many of these different industries. I feel like this is kind of like trying to make the video game industry look like sports, where you're going to have what is it, the ESPYs, I think it is, where you vote for like the best athletes and the best teams and everything. I feel like that's what this is. It's the show, the Game Awards, being something that it doesn't need to be. Like, we need to... not to say that there's not a place for this kind of thing, but what's nice is Geoff Keeley usually doesn't commit a lot of time with these last, 5 categories. Maybe he's got like a 10-minute segment for you to go to the bathroom and grab a snack while they're talking about all of these teams and everything. But it doesn't impact me. I don't watch any of these esports. I prefer to play my games than watch them. I'm actually in the minority on that. Twitch is a really, really big channel where people like to watch the games and everything. That's not me. I'm not interested in doing that, so that's why esports doesn't interest me. So those are my predictions. Those were my votes. Let me know what you think in the comments section, but more importantly, make your vote known. Log on to this website. I'm going to have the website in the description below so you can log in and submit your votes for whom you think should win each of these awards. Again, you can be like me and abstain. You don't have to vote for things that you do or don't know. It's even like if you vote for your normal elections, I would say make sure that you do that. But I'm about 2 weeks past that point. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments section. Thanks for joining me here today. I really appreciate it. Just take the time to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications when the next video comes up. Thanks for watching and have a great day.